Hey guys, yeah, I'm talking to you guys in post. Yeah, sadly there was no intro. But yeah, hopefully everyone is doing all right. Hopefully everyone is doing fine. And yeah, this is actually a collab slash interview podcast. Yeah, I know it's interesting. But yeah, um, this week's episode is actually talking about marketing and why are you different? And this episode, I have a special guest, and his name is Sam Hebda, owner of Triba Business Community on Discord, and of course, host of a quest called Triba. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this episode. See you guys at the end. Peace. Into AI. Oh.
Sorry, I started the recording on Zoom
um,
too.
yeah, cool. So yeah, I wanted to go into podcasting. Not wanted to go into robotics eventually, but like mechanical engineering, but it's an industry that I want to get into as yet because I want to master this, and after this, I'm going to do the other things. But marketing is the first love.
So for right now, you're focused on marketing and refining those skills, right? And how are you doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's mostly this experience because I could gain a lot of um academic education, but what really stands out is the experience
Mm-hmm.
and how in certain situations would you manage yourself to do different aspects of things.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, doing or even forming a content pipeline. Of course, you can read about it. Of course, you can understand it.
Right.
But the application of it, that's a whole different story. And you'll have to pull a lot of things from a lot of places, do a lot of researching, but you'll have to know how to properly align everything so it doesn't seem like you're doing 10 posts a day without no no feeling, just throw it out there just because.
Right. So you're
So
talking about we're getting a little into like the cohesion and the copywriting, you know, all those things play into your marketing and your content. You can't just what I hear you saying is you can't just be focused on, oh, I need to make posts, I need to make posts. They need to be purposeful posts.
mm-hmm.
And getting that
Yeah.
experience, I mean, it's hard to do, honestly. Like my story is kind of similar, and I guess we kind of swapped this around. I'm interviewing you, and then you'll interview me, I guess. But I
Yeah.
like where you're going with this
Yeah.
because we really wanted to talk about the marketing side, and I know that you've been learning a lot from the guys in Triba, the guys and girls in Triba, as well as you're able to help us at the same time, right? How does that? How do you see that working? Like, how does that work for you?
I've seen it work a lot, and just off of the copy that I've seen and just the experience of just developing my own copyright and just to even design. I saw a lot of things that I could have done better in my design, and off of that, I've just implemented it here and there. Um,
Right.
because of course, there's always the uniqueness of your branding and then your image, but I also wanted to have it more in a presentable manner, I would say. And what I've seen with your guys' design and how you guys market yourselves, I wanted to reflect that in what I'm doing. So in just that, I really, really, really enjoy the experience of being in that position to do the post scheduling and reviewing the copy and all that stuff. I really, really enjoyed it. I really like it.
I've seen you learn a lot in the last year, even. Ubani's been part of what White Rabbit's been working on since day one, pretty much back in the Vortex. I've decided we can talk about it. You know, it's not taboo
Yeah.
anymore. It's part of my experience. It's on my website. It happened. It was the first business Discord, and I think we should be proud of what we did, Ubani, because you were in there learning and working right alongside everybody. And since then,
Yeah.
I've seen you accomplish so much. You've improved in your copy. You're getting responses. You're getting opens on your emails, right? Like all that you've picked up off of people in Triba, you know, learning stuff. And now he runs our social media for the LinkedIn, the Facebook, the posts for events. Like he's getting real world experience. He's got that on his resume now. He's a prime part of the Triba staff. And now he's getting work. He's going to be part of some of the Triba projects that we're bringing in, as well as, you know, he's talking to business owners, real business owners in Triba, showing off his skills.
Absolutely. I like when I first came in contact with Sam, it was actually a connection from our very, very deep friend, Glenville Dixon. Of course, shout out to Glenn, shout out to Glenn, shout out to Glenn. Um, and I came into Paradigm first because of what you guys um, had in terms of like giving opportunities for business owners to connect and do business with one another. And just off of the vibe and the people, I just stick to it, and I just loved everyone's ever since. I like I was I was connected with every main person from Paradigm, and of course, me and Sam had like that link that linked
A
that link
special relationship. I think
special relation.
yeah, he was just there when we needed people to support the community, and he represents the same kind of engagement I love to see from people when they come in. You know, Ubani's very friendly. He's always reaching out to new members and welcoming them. He's always there at our events and our speaking sessions. And now I see him even doing podcasting and putting on his own events. It's pretty awesome to see. I mean, how do you think these? Well, okay, let me ask this: how is Triba different than traditional marketing?
So I think from traditional marketing, it gives the company it's the company giving the voice to people, but with Triba, the the message is we want to hear you. And for any person that wants to do marketing, the voice matters, but you'd have to understand that you have to give the community who you're targeting more voice to what you're doing. Like for example, um, I don't want to even go there, but let's say for wrestling, I'm a big fan of the WWE network, blah blah blah. But it's like a lot of things that they do could have been better executed if they've heard the voices
Right.
of actual like people in the wrestling space that have been commenting on different things about the business for years and years. They just never really heard everything. Like I've heard a lot of persons that have developed brilliant storytelling and a lot of aspects in the business that they could have done better, but they don't give the voice and give they like but they it's not like they don't do a great job, but they don't give the opportunities for the actual audience to give put on the product itself, and they actually take in note of it and execute it on their brand. But I think for Triba, it's given the platform to have the business owners to speak, to give the audience a voice. Of course, there's the mainstream Amazon, the Facebooks and all, but eventually they want to do their own thing. They they pick and choose of who they want to listen to.
Mhm.
And Triba is like, we want to listen to everyone, no matter who you are, no matter if you're just coming into the whole Discord thing, doesn't matter. Everyone's perspective is important because you just
Mhm.
never know if that one piece of information, one piece of knowledge can transform your entire
Yes.
business for the future.
Yes.
You just never know. You just never
Amen.
know.
Amen. I totally agree.
Hallelujah.
I mean, you're giving voices to people who have missions and visions. They have value to share with people. Triba's marketing platform is let your voice be heard. In Triba, you're heard because, like Ubani said, we give you a place to speak, a place to share, and it's not going to disappear into a feed. I mean, it does go up the channel, but people can always go back and read through the threads and the archives, the links. There's specific, link channels. And whether it's just you sharing some business articles that you wrote that are, helpful, or a podcast that you did that was really informative, or maybe you put on a live event, or you come to co-working. Either way, that you're going to look at other businesses, see them doing this kind of thing, and learn like Ubani did. And then Triba will help you start doing that kind of stuff. And we're here to help along the way. We love to hear what kind of problems you're encountering in the journey to market by letting your voice be heard. And then we help you figure out how to solve those and get you started. So many people have started successful podcasts and sub communities branching off of Triba. And it's just really cool to see people taking that idea of letting your voice be heard, putting your voice out there and putting it into application. Real world
Yeah,
experience, like you were saying.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's why I really love Tribe. It's just giving the voice and giving the platforms for people to just to collaborate and flourish in their own gifts and actually giving the what you would say. I wouldn't say just platform, just giving the opportunities for people to develop their ideas and execute, like help develop the ideas into a realistic, marketable or just a plain business thing that can be existed and given the given the opportunity to collaborate with others to say, okay, collaborate and say, hey, this idea is cool. Let me jump on this and this and that. And it just gives the opportunities to meet new people with a that just never that you would never know that you actually can be connected with, because I've connected um with like Michelangelo, who is a programmer, highly skilled programmer. I've connected with Lauren, who's a brilliant designer, right? I love Lauren's work.
Yes.
I've connected with Garrett. Of course, me and him haven't really gotten into like a conversation, but I know from his work and with the philosophy clubs, he's very good. I really like his standpoints on things, and just like that, he just gives the opportunities to meet these people that you never knew that you can ever in a million years it can actually connect with.
Right. I mean, these guys he's mentioning are like, they were the founding members of Triba too. And, they're incredibly well equipped to share and teach. I mean, these guys have been doing the work that he just mentioned for years. They're experts in their fields. And Ubani has been, put at a young age in direct content with the expertise and skills that he needs to become an online entrepreneur. I mean, the entrepreneurial journey is one thing. We talk about, oh, I'm an entrepreneur from a young age. I love business and starting businesses. Well, then if you look at the actual definition of an entrepreneur, you need to have some experience to consider yourself an entrepreneur, and experience in the sense that, you've been successful. you're a wannabe entrepreneur until you've had an entrepreneurial success or you're working towards it. And that success doesn't necessarily mean you've exited $1 billion or even made a huge profit off your business. It means success in that you've discovered the journey of trial and error, of seeking knowledge, expanding your horizons, trying new things. That is the entrepreneurial journey. I would consider myself very entrepreneurial and minded, but at this point, I'm still growing, I'm still learning, I'm on that journey just like everybody else. So we help people of all stages in that experience. It's a journey of self-actualization, self-realization, understanding that it's something that everybody can achieve. That is success in your business endeavors if you surround yourself with the people you want to be like. Right, Ibani? That's the idea. Surround yourself with the people you want to be like.
The sum of the 5 to 10 people that you hang out with. There's a numerous of quotes that's out there just simply saying, hey, if you want to be successful, you'll have to be around people who are successful. Doesn't mean you will have to be the ones that are successful just like that, but persons who are hungry and persons who wants to be a part of that journey. And you said something right there, and I really want to just expound on that, the journey. Um, in just business generally, there's uh this there's this thing about striving for things and doing things and experimenting, and all of it goes into how the journey goes. Like, let's say, for instance, you're a young guy who wants to get into business, and for like 3 years, you failed. Like the first year, you had some success, so connected with lots of people and gained experience. The second year, and maybe you kind of drop off the third year. But that's the thing about entrepreneurship that you have to understand. It's the journey. It's the sticking around and see what's next and
Right.
seeing how things will compound if you do things now to when things go right in the future. And that's ultimately why I love just business, and I even love how things are marketed, because of course, in for marketing you have to market the voice, but in the voice, the person, which is actually the business. Let me get a bit technical here.
Okay.
The business is the person, and the marketing is the voice. The marketing shows the progression of that business developments and all that, and basically the journey, of course, through its voice. The voice, of course, there's the advertising aspect of, hey, the call to action, all that stuff. But with it's a combination of a lot of things. But for business, I like when the marketing shows the journey of the person. When you have the advertisements that um, dates the company back to its original the original times when it started to
Right.
now doing some great spanking things. I like things like that because it shows like you can start from small, and just like from 2 3 years you can just grow into
That's
something
what we
big that
should
you never
do.
thought that could happen.
We should make a Triba trailer like that shows some of the old video clips from like back in the day, the old philosophy club, the old masterminds. Put that together and do like a
Yeah.
montage of it growing, because it really is a journey. We're helping young entrepreneurs find information on how to develop a strategy, how to develop a product, how to develop solutions actually to problems more than just products, because a lot of people come in with product ideas and they have no problem they're trying to solve. So it's a tough uphill journey trying to
Yeah.
cut out your own market, and Triba helps entrepreneurs build that solution. how to get
It's
their voice heard.
and ultimately that's really what it is because there's a lot of businesses right now, and that's actually why I wanted to do this podcast today. And the a lot of businesses now are just doing the same old thing. You can date it back to
Yep.
the e-commerce times when people are literally just copy and pasting the same marketing message, but just having a different website. Say, yeah, you have a
Yeah.
different color palette, but the same message. And it's just like what do you think the outcome is going to be? Like there's all you a person wants to of course connect with a person, but the person wants to connect with an individual,
Hmm.
not a clone of
Exactly.
like one individual thing. And that's how you want to like do your message. And it also goes with the you as the business owner because you are the user of your product.
Right.
You are the champion of your product. And you know why you want to do what you want to do and who do you want to do it for. And that's really why you will have to frame your message in that way and frame your marketing message that way so that the persons that can see um doing this for business for young aspiring professionals, some message that you as a person will literally go down to the street and advertise your business to another person and say, hey, my company is this, we do this and this for this and this, and gain feedback and so forth. But you'll have to understand that okay, let's say you go down the street, just going back to the example. Let's say you go down to the street, there's like one sales guy that went to like a person the one time and they wanted to sell, I don't know, a USB drive. There's
Yeah.
some interesting. And and then you came in and want to sell the same thing.
Yeah.
But
So what makes
this
you different?
and that's the point. Like, what makes me want to buy your product?
Right.
Like, just 3 minutes ago, I just got approached by a sales guy wanting to sell me the same thing. Well, what makes you different? Like a customer feedback feature? Is it a like I can be connected with other users? Like, what's the thing that I can gain other than just the product itself?
Hmm.
Yeah, the unique benefit of why I should be, buying your product.
Right. Right. So if you're not aligned at the right target audience, and you're not talking to the right people, then you're not going to be getting the feedback you need to continue developing your product.
Mhm.
Because it needs to solve a problem that they have, and you need to understand that problem very well. So I think this is really essential in anyone's business, whether you're providing a service like community development or websites. It still has to be targeted towards solving a problem. Yeah, your user might not have a good website, but what's the real problem? They're struggling to tap into an online audience. If that's what their website is, it's a conversion tool, which it should be for your, why else would you have a website if it wasn't meant to drive traffic and business to your company? That's why people talk about
Mhm.
funnels, right? But it's more than a funnel. It's a layer in your orbit that's bringing people closer to actually purchasing or engaging or downloading your app or partnering for a service, a relationship. And the new
Yeah.
way of doing business that Ubani is talking about is based on your voice. And you talk to people, you make real connections that are long-term relationships as opposed to single transactions. Even if you're on the street trying to sell someone a USB, it's more effective to have them want to come back and buy another USB or another product that you have to offer, because they really liked your engagement with them. They liked you as a person. They felt comfortable, and they also got something unique. Either that might be the unique thing, is maybe it was a really great experience for them, right? They really liked engaging with you as a salesperson, and you didn't come across really salesy. You just offered them the value and the solution to their problem. They didn't have a USB to transfer their data. Now they have something to use to transfer their data that's really safe or high quality, or whatever it is that's unique about your product.
And there's a lot of other perks from buying the product as well. Like maybe there's like a giveaway code to different releases of that of
Right.
their of new products that are coming out, and just the uniqueness of like, and you actually, I like what you said about how the person frames their voice, which is also something that you'll have to understand in terms of like how your message is coming across. And it's also important that you'll have to go into the A/B testing phrase of your business in terms of throwing out messages to your target audience to see if something sticks and revising it and implementing it. Well, not implement. Of course, it's implementation, but of course, the optimizing of that message and elevating the message for introducing new people into your company. But that's
into your
great point. Into your orbit.
Exactly. Like they're eventually going to be drawn towards engaging and interacting with your company. If you're adding value, that's like building your gravity. It's like adding mass to your brand, your identity. The more you add value, the closer those people who come in contact are. They're going to be drawn in and drawn in and drawn in until they want to buy or partner or work with you. Ubani's learned this from the community, and he's applied it, and it's working, right? He's met he's met a lot of people. He's built his business with Glenville. They now run Technologically Zealous Family, which I think is a pretty awesome name, TZF.
Well, that's kind of give the correction, because I know Glenn's gonna tear me apart if I don't do it. Right now, we're actually transitioning from the name of Technologically Zealous Family to Silver Tree Agencies.
Why?
Technologically Zealous Family is going to be the holding company.
Right.
That's its own.
So they're even going into a new stage that they've developed in this collaborative environment, right? You guys have been networking, partnering. Now they partner with White Rabbit and Triba. They're fulfilling client work that we're bringing in. So that's the exciting thing about community, is everybody's helping and supporting each other, So what would you tell then to somebody who's trying to reach out and maybe an email marketing campaign, or maybe they're doing cold outreach on LinkedIn? This is something a lot of our members are starting to do, is outreach and networking on LinkedIn. And say somebody's doing that and they're throwing things out there to see what sticks, like you just said, but nothing seems to be sticking. They're getting zero conversion. What might be wrong with what they're doing?
Well, it'll
Top 3
be
things that might be wrong, or 2 things that might be wrong.
I would mainly say, because a message is how you communicate to your audience. So I would say either the intent is wrong and the mindset is wrong. So the intent of the message is to do what? That's what you'd have to ask. And you would have to come at the message from your customer's perspective, of course. And there's also the mindset in terms of the reason why you want to get this message out there in the first place. Because, of course, if you want to have success, you have to be in the right mind state to actually have something of substance and create something that people actually want to grasp to. So that's really what my two little things there. But of course, there's always the solving problems. There's always the seeing what your competitors see, is seeing what your competitors do in terms of how they do their own campaigns and how they execute it and for what reasons.
Well, you're saying competitors. you're saying competitors, but I think what you're trying to say is people in the same industry, right? Because in Triba, we don't really talk about it as competition. What do we use
Yeah.
instead?
I would say
It's the same concept you're talking about with learning from other people doing the same thing. But you said, learn from your competitors. In Triba, you learn from collaborators, collaboration,
collaborate,
collaboration with those in the
collaborate.
same, with potential competitors.
Yeah.
That's kind of the unique point in Triba. The selling point is, you join a lot of Facebook groups and it feels like competition sometimes. It's like who can post the most, who can, do the most. But in Triba, you're working in collaboration. Yeah, you're sharing value. So, you want your voice to be heard. So you're building gravity, but you also have this opportunity to see what other people are doing around you and learn, okay, maybe I'm doing cold outreach on LinkedIn wrong. What is Ubani doing? What is Harry doing that's so applicable for this kind of industry, for what you're doing? Don't look at other people who are selling physical products and be like, oh, should I network like that? There's a different way to do it for different industries, different styles, but essentially the same thing applies. Your voice, your mindset, and your intent, which Ubani touched on all three. Very, very important. What do you intend to do by connecting with this person? He said, put yourself in their position. If a CEO was looking at LinkedIn and someone just messaged them and said, hey, I do web design. Here's my email, or here's my website. We build, we build websites in this amount of time. That he's not going to respond to that. You're not going to have any success DMing 1,000 CEOs. Maybe you get a 1% conversion, if that. I mean, even just 1% replying would be surprising to me. But this is a good example just because I've recently been adapting my own intent, and I'm reaching out to solve a pain point to customer service and HR representatives, hiring and solving customer issues. That's something that community can solve. So, when I reach out to them, I don't just reach out and say, hey, I can do this for you. I reach out and say, hey, what are your biggest pain points? I interact with them like a person. It's nice to meet you at your networking event, or, I saw you were connected with so-and-so on LinkedIn. Maybe we can talk about how we might be able to help you solve some pain points in your business. I offer community self-services. In the same way, Ubani's reaching out to people and being like, hey, I mean, you seem like have a really good vision and mission. Clara, you have a really awesome art and you want to get it out there. I can help you make micro content and get it distributed, help you with your website. Those kind of things are what go a long way in building a relationship. That's the mindset you need to be in. He's talking about your intent is to help. Your mindset is relationship development, and your voice is adding value.
And that's really what it is, and that's why I love this Web3 world. It's so great. Like the opportunities of being with other. Yeah, I'm not going to say competitors no more because
Yes,
we're
please.
all in the same game. That's really what it is. We're all in the same industry if you really think about it, especially for like persons in doing web design, digital digital services. We're all in the same industry. It's just that we have different ways of doing our message, and we have different audiences that we are trying to appeal to. But it's all really the same thing. But the thing about community and doing things in this Web3 world is you can actually collaborate with these same businesses and give feedback on like, hey, I'm doing this email campaign. Give me your opinion on what I can do better because I've seen you do this, and
yes.
I like how you do it, and it's been successful. So give me some pointers in your opinion that I may need to change, what I mean to adapt to, what things I may not think could be possible, and just give me your perspective on it maybe being possible if you do it in this way. Just like that, I really like the collaborative effort that communities like tribes to just give that opportunity for persons to collaborate in that manner. I really like, I really, really do enjoy it. And that's, and not to mention too, in terms of the Web3 world and in community marketing and all that stuff, you never know that the people that you may connect with in that community may be persons that actually will need your services,
Never know.
which
You
is a
really don't.
whole, you never know. So you may say you want to come into a business community like Tribal and say, hey, I want to connect with this person, business owners for this reason, but you never know that the people who you're actually targeting are actually in that same community as well. But you just never know. But you're so fixated on this one thing and this one goal that you never get to explore other options and open your minds to the possibilities of other things to flourish, like a potential partnership with TZF, well, Silver Tree Agencies, and Clara and what she's doing in terms of doing art and create micro content for what she's doing and helping her to boost her visible appeal to the audience and helping her establish her name in the art community. But you never know that you can actually do that if you're actually open your mind to the possibilities of that actually happening.
Yeah, I mean, if you imagine it, I think bringing things up in a collaborative community is one of the most important things. Like you said, you have to have your voice heard to actually be marketing, whether that's
Mm-hmm.
on social media posting or in a community sense, adding value into conversation and in just relationship development. You have to understand that you can envision something, envision, and then make that vision a reality through the power of community. So basically, he's saying you can do anything you can put your mind to. You can build a whole VR world and fill it with artwork and get it out there for people to access around the world by working with other people. Someone said, I honestly wish I could remember who said this. Probably it's been said by many, but nothing great has been accomplished alone. Even Elon
Mm-hmm.
Musk couldn't do what he does without all the people who support him and work with him. You can't try to go at this solo. You're going to have roadblocks and bumps along the way that you're going to need community to help you solve. Bonnie
Mm-hmm.
was struggling with copy. I helped him out. Now he's like a pro. So it's
Yeah.
all about learning from the people around you. There's always someone around you in this community who's better than you at something. It's gotten to that point where there's a few experts I can say that are the best in their area, but even them, they're learning from me, they're learning from Ubani, they're learning from people around them as we all work this out. But I want to go back because I asked the question to our audience and to you. What do you do if you're getting like zero success, zero things are sticking to the wall, you're trying a lot of stuff? One thing I know you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned earlier in our conversation, or maybe it was earlier today, is you have to look at your target audience, right?
Yeah.
So how would you
Yeah.
say people in Triba and in community find their target audience, or how do you know if you're targeting the right audience? Maybe that's a question we can dive into.
Okay. So that's actually a good question because
I mean, obviously you have to
yeah,
get into the branding, right? And this is a much deeper question than I
yeah,
intended. But the
yeah.
answer to
I
the
think
question is,
this,
you tell that dude, maybe you're targeting the wrong audience, right?
yeah, but I think this is where the second half of the podcast is gonna go. And yeah, guys, this is actually going to be the end of this first half of the episode. If you want to listen to the next half, go straight over to A Quest Called Triba. You can search it on YouTube or just look in the description for all the links. And hopefully, you guys learned something from this first half. I really enjoyed this conversation so far. And yeah, join the tribal business community on Discord. Your boy's in there now, so come and join your boy. But otherwise, enjoy your guys' day. If you want to listen to part 2, go straight to A Quest Called Triba. All links to where you can find them will be in the description.